Hey everyone, I'm Damien Holver from TV Guide Magazine and TV Insider, talking with Jensen Eklz about everything. We talked about this a little earlier after the Walker episode, but like you said, you're a workhorse. You and Jared are both workhorses. You both went right into other jobs. Like, after 15 seasons of not just starring in a show up in the hinterlands, but like executive producing and directing episodes and doing all these fan conventions, you didn't think for a second, like, hey, Daniil, let's go around the world.
You know, at the end of the day, it's what I know. It's what's been programmed in here. It's when you do something as intensely as we did for 15 seasons.
Did you and Jared go through like a detox or withdrawal after working so long together and then not?
Well, Jared didn't have any time. I mean, I don't know if you've spoken to him about that.
Oh yeah.
But he went like straight in to Walker season one after, and he had thought, that prior to COVID, he had thought that we were going to wrap up in April and then he'd have May and June and July to go travel and relax and somehow figure out how he was gonna shed Sam Winchester and take on Cordell Walker, but he'd had no time really.
So how did Kripke kind of convince you, all right, get back on the horse now?
I was talking to Kripke about something completely unrelated, and at the end of our conversation I was like, hey, I'm about to be unemployed, so you got anything for me to do over there on the boys? And he laughed and he was like, look, man, I'll bring you over here and write you something, all day. He's like, but let me think about that, because I don't know if I want to just bring you in for a solo episode guest spot kind of thing. He's like, maybe I've got something a little bit more juicy for you. And I was like, okay, scary, but okay. Right. And the next day he sent me over the material for Soldier Boy. He was like, take a look at this and tell me what you think. So this wasn't something that, Crip just called and said, hey, come on over. This was something that he and I, that I had to fight for, and I had to give him a big enough bat to go to bat for me. And luckily it worked.
Nice. And clearly light years different from Dean.
It's definitely different, but he's this is the original superhero from 80 years ago. This is we actually get to see, it's kind of cool, through Soldier Boy we get to see kind of the history of Vought. It's a great kind of catalyst to get a backstory on Vought and where Vought really came from. And in doing so, though, you get to see you get to know this character as well as a variety of other characters from the past. And at the end of the day, this is a guy who is this is not his time. He's showing up in 2022, and he's like looking around and he doesn't recognize things. Things don't look the way that they used to when he was top dog. Right. And so instead of he's basically a curmudgeon.
And now you're in New Orleans still?
I'm in New Orleans, yes.
So why film the Winchesters down there? Is it just for the pilot present, or are you going to set it down there?
We'd like to keep it down here because a couple of reasons. One, it's a period piece. This takes place in the early 70s. So you've got these old historic towns peppered around New Orleans. Plus, you just have the vibe that is New Orleans. So it's written into the pilot script that they go to New Orleans on a case, and they go to Lafayette Cemetery, and so we're actually going to be there. We're actually going to do that. And, real crypts and stuff, not ones that we have to build on the on a school park somewhere.
And you're narrating it.
Yes.
So I'm very interested to see how that, like, what triggers him telling his story, maybe to a child. Have you talked to Jared about having him narrate an episode?
We've had multiple discussions about how and when and what that'll look like. I haven't said, hey, this is exactly what we're thinking to him, but I've said, this is certainly on the table of things we would like to, boxes we'd like to check, how that looks. Because when you understand where we are in the timeline of things, it can get a little tricky with that, but we'll figure it out because it's supernatural.
Excellent. Well, listen, congratulations, man. I'm so happy for you.
To read my full interview with Jensen Eklz, pick up a copy of TV Guide magazine on stands now, and hit subscribe for more TV Insider videos.